up, everybody? I'm Sal. This is Reggie Steele. And welcome to Spitballin.
What up, everybody? I'm Sal. This is Reggie Steele.
And welcome to Spitballin. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but we're back to being separate. It's
I know,
no
it's
longer
very
two
popular.
guys. I know, no longer two guys on the couch. Sorry, folks. I know you loved it, but
yeah, it was
the
popular.
couch is no more. Maybe one day, maybe
Yeah.
we get down to LA and do.
I told Reg that. You didn't even respond to that. You're like, I'm just gonna ignore that.
No, you said you got to come down. You said you got to come down to LA, and I said you got to come back up to the Bay.
I'm just there.
You said I'm here. It's your turn. And I'm like,
Amen.
Amen. Like, all right. So I know you guys enjoyed both of us together. We did too. It was really great. Like, I really enjoyed that episode. Sal and I have great chemistry, and I think that we.
Hey, hold on. Let me
pause
this real quick, Reg. I mean, you could go right to the middle of your sentence. I forgot where I interrupted you.
No, what I was saying was that I know that you guys enjoyed Sal and I on the couch together.
It's good.
We got great chemistry. When we're together in the same room, then it's palpable. Like, we do a thing. But that's all right, though. We're gonna make it work this way too. You know what I'm saying? And maybe one day we'll get back to two dudes on the couch. Maybe
that's a terrible name. You gotta stop that.
I like it. Two dudes on the couch.
Yeah, you like it
because on the curb. We do it outside.
What kind of couch is this?
Sal always goes to that area.
Well, it's because there was the two girls, one cup, and then they made me change my fantasy name to Two Sals, One Cup this year.
That's even better. Two guys, one couch.
One cup.
I know. Two girls, one cup. Two guys, one couch.
Yeah, no, you're gonna get a whole disappointed audience. They're like, what? This isn't what I wanted.
Dude, do you care? You're like, so what? We got 30,000 views. So I was like, we made it.
That's funny.
Even though the next month we get like 8, because they're like, it's not what you think it is. All the gay dudes are like, two guys and one couch is not what you think it is. It is not what you think it is. So,
that's funny, man.
And then the closeted brothers, all the closeted dudes are like, yo, man, this podcast sucks. You guys are misleading. Like, really? What's misleading about it? Two guys, one couch. Whatever, man. I'm out of here.
All right. So yeah, that was fun. We couldn't do it. Well, whatever. We'll try and do it again. We're supposed to have a guest today about nowish. Movie star. It's a movie star. Reggie supposedly knows a movie star, but we've never seen him here on the podcast. But this kid star. And now I was really impressed. I couldn't believe his resume. Like he's done movies just recently, a Netflix thing and everything. But we knew him when he was young and just starting out in San Francisco, Joey Bragg. So
Joey Bragg.
I'm really, I was the more I read, I was like, man, so much I didn't know about Joey.
Yeah,
he's killing it. And he's like, a lot of these kids actors, they go off the deep end.
Yeah,
Joey seems like he's got it all right.
Yeah, man. We probably should have left this part till afterwards, after talking to him, to say that he's got it together. Who knows? Because this interview.
He just texted me though. Hey, look, professional.
There we go. Yeah,
something.
Man,
I don't want to read his text. It's probably, but
Joey,
he said a few minutes. No worries, buddy. Hope all is well.
Okay.
How about that? That's a good one.
Yeah, Joey is currently, he's now 28 years old, and I think it's safe to say he was born in 96. It's safe to say that
That's why you look at you. I didn't know that. You know his years and everything.
Yeah, man. He was born in July. I think it's July 20th, 96. So you figure 96.
That's when I graduated.
06. Yeah, that's when I graduated college, 96. So 96 to 06, you figure he's 10. We probably knew him around 08 when he was 12, maybe somewhere.
Yeah, it was like 12 or 13. I have
13.
Yeah, he
08, 09, where he showed up as a young. Well, I mean, we'll talk about this in an interview, but this dude was legitimately like 12 to 13, maybe 13 years old, coming to comedy clubs and doing sets.
Yeah,
right.
And he wasn't bad. He wasn't bad. Like, there's a lot. He was a comedian. Like, you saw the stand up in him. Like, he knew the style. He knew. And I'm really curious how you get into that young because like I didn't, he wasn't even on my radar at that time.
Yeah, I just remember for me, he stood out because obviously, we're adults in a nightclub
Yeah.
with other adults, and
Well, I
then there's
remember Edwin Lee was a young. We knew a few 16-year-olds. I remember Edwin Lee, and then who was the Russian kid who got on Last Comic Standing?
Vladimir
Vladimir.
Vladimir Clinton, I think his name is.
No, you better get his last name because there's a really bad Vladimir out there right now. We can't have people confused.
Well, no, it's not. It's not
It wasn't Putin.
Not Vladimir Putin. No, it's Vladimir Clinton. I
Vlad.
think
What'd you say? Klingon?
Clinton. It's something. It's Russian. It's
Yeah, but
Vladimir.
he had a good moment, but he was really young. And then, I mean,
And he
no
got
offense to Vlad, he got really depressing, dude. And he'd come into the green room, and everyone was like, "Who's this fucking depressed ass motherfucker?" So, like,
it
I
was
remember he's
sad.
like, "You can't be eating nightshade, Sal." I'm like, "The fuck? What? I'm sorry, but
Well, hold on.
Joey don't seem like that."
hold up. Let's give it some context before you just throw Vlad out there like that. Because Vlad's my dude. I love Vlad.
Have you seen him? I when's the last time you seen him? I haven't even
It's
seen him.
it's been years now, but
Is
the
he
thing
still
about
around
Vlad,
up there? What's he doing?
uh, he's gone on with his life, I guess. But
He
this is
kind
what,
of got screwed over. He went to New York and got screwed over
well, this is the
too.
thing. Let's just clarify this. The situation with Vlad was young and he got selected by was it Last Comic Standing? No,
Yes.
not Last Comic
Yeah.
Standing. And he made it pretty far in the process. And they highlighted him in a variety of different ways because he was a young dude and he was a kid
Yeah.
doing this comedy thing.
He was probably
And
17 at the time, maybe 16.
17
Yeah,
and being
17.
young, impressionable, and getting so much attention in a certain way in something that he wanted to do. When you're young, you think that whatever you're experiencing right then at that point in time, that's what you think is going to be like forever.
Yeah.
And so the networks did what they do. They chewed him up, they spit him out, they took what they needed. He didn't make it onto the show, but he was highlighted. And then all of a sudden he got a lot of attention from other people because his face was on television and he was in different places and they were interviewing him and his parents and this young immigrant family and blah, blah, blah. And then it stopped.
Mm.
And it never went anywhere from there. Right. And then here you have this person who has people know his name and they know his story, but things aren't happening for him. So yeah, you get depressed if you're young.
And then something happened, like he went to New York and then he gets screwed over with the landlord or his roommate or
Yeah,
something.
it was something else that happened. But also, in your mind at that age, you're thinking, oh, this can change my life. This can change my family's life. Right.
Right,
Because
right. Well, yeah. Is that what he's thinking?
well, of course, that's what he's thinking. You're on TV, you got this
The
big show.
pressure,
They got the cameras in your house, videotaping, interviewing your parents, interviewing you, highlighting you, following you around, following them around. You think, oh my goodness, we're poor. This is our opportunity. And
yeah.
then it
Right.
doesn't happen. And it's like,
That's
oh
so yeah,
man.
my point exactly. There's a Joe,
He
but there's a lot of
he
pitfalls.
right. And he didn't have anybody to help him navigate that. That's the problem. Right.
Right.
He didn't have anybody to
Right.
help him navigate that. So shout out to Vlad. He did his thing. And he was a funny dude. Then he started to have some health complications and he got into nutrition, and that's where the nightshades come into play. Right. But he's right about the nightshades. Can't mess wrong too. That's like
I can't have a sweet potato. Get the fuck out of here.
Is it sweet potatoes? I thought it was just
Yeah,
like
it's potatoes and shit.
potato. I thought it was also like eggplant and
Hey, what the fuck? That's what I eat too.
tomatoes.
And I can't have bread now because the gluten. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Italians
What
eat
are
all that shit.
nightshades? Let's just see what are
Yeah.
nightshades. Nightshades, any family of flowering plants that includes tomatoes, potatoes, eggplants, peppers, and tobacco.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here. That's a racist ass nutritional thing. Nightshades. You love Mexicans and Italians food. That's what they're trying to fuck with. Yeah, hell, I can't eat an eggplant. I cook the shit out of eggplant, son.
Hey man, you alone because I don't eat them. Like
If
no,
you
I've
ain't
had,
had
I've
it,
had
if I made it for you.
no, I've had good eggplant, but it's not my favorite. Like anything, like especially it depends on how it's cooked.
Exactly. That's
If
huge.
it's too slimy or whatever, then
No,
I'm
that's
like,
wrong. They're doing it
yeah,
wrong.
no,
You let me
that's wrong.
do it, huh? You do a little egg, you do a little
uh,
breadcrumbs, you put on the
manja it.
sauce.
Okay.
Hey, our buddy's already here. Let's get it on.
Okay.
I'll talk about the electric car another time. I also got a new Bourdain coming up out of Arlington, Virginia.
Arlington. I was out there a couple weeks ago.
All right. Well, let's let in our buddy. You want to introduce him, Reg?
Yes.
Don't
All
forget
right.
to mention Liv and Maddie. That was the big one, dude.
No, of course.
Right.
I'd like to welcome everyone. I'd like to welcome my guest to the show. This is a young man who we knew when he was just a kid getting started out as a comedian in the San Francisco Bay Area, San Jose Bay Area. He then moved on to Los Angeles and he had great opportunities and he was on Liv and Maddie and then he did movies and shows. And welcome to the show, Joey Bragg.
There he is, baby, in the flesh.
Wow. What a time. What a time to be alive, dude.
Yes, sir.
What a weekend we got ahead of us. Sal.
We got a big sports weekend coming up.
Joey.
So Joey's
only dude.
Yeah, you're a Washington guy. How the hell that happened? Because you started in the Bay, right?
Yeah, no, I am born and raised in the East Bay. I was thinking about it in the shower today because I get asked this question all the time. I was thinking about you guys in the shower today.
No, the Washington Commanders you're thinking about.
It was good.
Yeah, because I was indoctrinated. Like I didn't have a choice. It's like I grew up in a household of like Jehovah's Witnesses. You know, you like
really?
kind of just have to tag along. I didn't grow up in I would say being a Redskins fan is like being a Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Because you're not allowed to enjoy your Sundays.
Right.
So wait, was your father a big Washington fan?
My father's a big San Diego Chargers fan. And so my dad was a Chargers fan and my mom was a Redskins fan, like diehard. And I had an older brother, so when we played Madden, he picked the Chargers and I got the Redskins and it just stuck.
Okay. Wow, so you're like the mama's boy.
Well, I was going to say, we know who, if they separated, we know who he's going to go live with.
Yeah, of course. It's literally every Sunday my mom calls me and my dad takes the downstairs TV to watch the Chargers game, and if it's happening at the same time, my mom goes up to my childhood bedroom and watches on the little TV with the dog and the cat. She's relegated to that because like for years we haven't won games, so it's not like it's important to watch a game.
Yeah, so you've probably followed them since like the 2000s, early 2000s, and
oh yeah, I mean since I was like wearing a Clinton Portis jersey when I was like 2 years old, man.
Wow.
That's my life.
Right. You definitely got indoctrinated. You didn't have a choice, bro.
I didn't have a choice, man.
You didn't have a choice.
It's so sucky because like my mom could have been a fan of the fucking Patriots and I could have had the greatest childhood of my life.
And I remember when I was a kid, they were good. Like Washington had the Hogs. They won the 2 Super Bowls. I remember them kicking Elway's ass. Like they were really good. And I remember that. But then, I know the pain because I'm a Browns fan.
I know. I mean, there's a lot of teams that have been like it was the Lions, but now no longer. Like there were teams that were like, these are the worst teams in the NFL, and they have been for the last decade. Yeah. Browns, Washington, used to be the Lions.
The Jets.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I was taking a plane back home with this guy for the Jets, and I was watching the game and just watching him like, they're losing to the Broncos. It was a terrible game.
It's also funny to watch them lose what are close games. Like they just lost in a what would have been a game-winning field goal. It's like that's the worst. That's so much more frustrating. I'd rather get blown out than lose by a field goal, missed field goal.
And they all thought they were going to the Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers, and I'm like, all right, slow down, Jets.
Right.
Yeah, no, Aaron Rodgers is running away from a ghost that haunts him from ayahuasca. So I don't think that is a 55-year-old man that ruined his brain in Brazil.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's funny. Joey, man, it's good to see you, man. It's been a very long time.
Good to see you, too.
It's been a long time, dude.
Dude, you look exactly the same. You
shaved his stash. What happened to the stash?
I know. I did shave. Honestly, I got a call from my team. Like, I thought they were going to drop me, and they just dropped my stash. They were like,
really?
It's not
Your
working.
rep said to get rid of it? Wow.
My reps for like casting directors have a really hard time seeing past something like that. And there's got to be some excuse as to why I'm not getting jobs.
Wow.
So I blamed it on the stash.
I mean, look, I'm going to be honest with you. I saw the stash. I mean, it was impressive. It was impressive. It was. I mean, dude, you had major.
I can't do that. That shit was cowboy.
I can't do that either, right? But I will say that it did give you a certain look that if you were getting booked, it might have been along the grinder lines.
I was gonna say,
yeah.
I was getting a lot of like.
Okay.
No, I was just getting a lot of Boogie Nights 2 auditions.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of Boogie Nights 2
dramatic
from
roles.
the 70s. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'll say too, man. Joey is like full-fledged, like you fucking movie star, and like I've never experienced this. I've left a comment on his mustache with his foot on the stool, and I just said they looked well together, right? My Instagram blowing up all the time. I'm like, who the fuck? And I'm looking at it. There's just people liking my comment. It's like over like 150 people now. I was like,
That's the least I can do for you, Sal.
thank you, buddy. None of
my
them follow
gift to
me,
you.
but
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, we like your comment about Joey, right?
yeah.
So
Yeah. We like your comment, strange guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, you
I was gonna
fucking
say, you
weirdo.
shaved the mustache. Yeah, I mean, dude, what you're 28, right? And
Yeah.
so
Yeah, 28.
and you shave like with the stash, you do look a little older. Without the stash, I can definitely see you
Yeah.
gain years.
Hey,
Right?
so that
Sorry,
movie you shot, The Sid is Dead, that was just like last
Mhm.
year or 2 years ago, and you are supposed to be a high schooler in that?
Yeah. Yeah, I still
All right.
got it, dude. I'll be playing high school till I'm 40.
That's why they
Yeah,
had given him that
yeah.
stash. Like, you're
Yeah.
killing
So
our high
what?
school money.
No, but then
Yeah.
look, if he grows the stash back, then he goes from the high schooler to the principal. It's really simple.
Very,
Right.
not
Yeah,
yet.
exactly.
Yeah.
I could
just
like
go
Eddie
from the-
Murphy it and play the principal and the student in the same movie. Just
Exactly.
have the stash and not have the stash.
Dude, that's
That'd be
it.
great, dude. That's what you need to do. You got like
That is.
evil Joey and then stashless Joey.
That's funny.
Dude, my good friend, you guys know Dan Donahue, great comic.
No, I don't know him personally.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah, I know.
I love when that happens, when you can be like, "Do you guys know this guy?" I assume you do, and then nobody knows him. And I wanted to watch this clip so bad. But we were like at a show. It was like 2 years ago. We were at a show at a dog rescue, and he's got this beautiful like Tom Selleck. He's had it forever, like
Oh,
gorgeous big
wow.
mustache. And at the time, I was like, because I felt like I still have like prepubescent facial hair.
Right.
And I said to him, and I was like, "Yeah, man, that's a mustache I've always wanted." And then like one male compliment, and he goes, "Your mustache looks good, man. Just let it keep growing and just give it time." And like when you get one comment from like another straight dude, and it's like
Yeah.
all you think about forever. And that mustache was inspired by one passing comment of a man trying to
That's
just shut me up.
awesome. How long did
That's
it take to
funny.
grow? How long did it take to grow?
Honestly, until it until it's its full glory,
Yeah.
I would say like 3 months.
Oh, wow.
maybe.
Okay. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it takes a while.
That's
It's
not
pretty
bad.
I'm
smart.
gonna tell you right
This-
now, for me, that would take legitimately 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would
In
take
my
6
show,
months.
if I did it, it would just be patchy and shit. Be like, what's your balding lip?
Yeah. I mean, but
Yeah.
your
You
doing
guys-
was glorious, man. I hope you took a picture of it before you let it go.
Oh, there's
of course,
plenty.
dude.
Oh, there's
Oh,
plenty.
there's
Okay.
plenty with
Okay.
comments and everything.
I also did that thing, when like you're like when you're putting a dog down or something, you're like just milking it. Though that was me shaving that mustache. I was just like looking at like what's it gonna be like on the other side.
Right.
All right,
Oh,
Joey,
man, that's awesome.
so we gotta ask you how you got in such a young age, because I was just telling Reg before you jumped on, like that wasn't even on my radar at that time, and I think we met you when I would say you're probably 13. Like what
Yeah,
time? How old
it's
were you?
like-
That's when I started.
Oh,
I started
right?
when I was 13. Yeah.
13.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you started.
Yeah.
Were you living down in the San Jose area, and that's where you started?
I was living in Union City, so like
Oh,
in
that's
between
right.
East
San
Bay.
Jose and
Oh,
Oakland.
okay.
Between.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was curious, man, because I mean, at 13, were you was someone in your family funny, or were you like watching stand up? Like, what made you decide at 13 I want to do this and actually go out and try it?
I mean, I think honestly, I wish I could like tap back into that weird pseudo confidence I had back then, because like it is so necessary.
Right.
My family's a very comedic family, and I watch stand up like every Friday night when Comedy Central would do those Comedy Central
Oh,
presents,
wow.
and
Oh,
Saturday
nice.
morning we were watching them all, and I loved it. And then I saw that movie Funny People, the Judd Apatow movie that came out in like 2009.
Oh yeah.
And
okay.
I was one of those kids that I watched a guy solve a Rubik's Cube really fast, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna do that. And then I learned how to solve a Rubik's, and then I was like, oh, I watched parkour for the first time. I was like, oh, I'm gonna do that. And I just had like a bunch of different hyperfixations.
Yeah.
And it was stand up for a bit. I watched Funny People. I understood like the go to an open mic, work on it, write jokes. Like I just didn't understand. When people that don't watch or do stand up, they have this impression that it's just like you're going up there and you're shooting the shit, and it turns
Right.
into this
Yeah,
hilarious
exactly.
thing.
Like you understood the work.
Yeah,
I was
Yeah.
saying before you came on, like even when you started, because we mentioned some other younger comics, but when you started, you could tell you already had it down. So you could tell you studied it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
a lot
Yeah.
of kids wouldn't be like that, but you looked like a professional. Like you knew what you were doing.
Yeah. Like
I mean,
yeah.
am a comedy fan. Like I love
Yeah.
it. It
Yeah.
was like I love doing it, obviously, but also there was this sense of like I go into the Punchline on Sundays. Like I'm
Yeah.
watching people that are now, the best of the best. And
Right.
Yeah.
you get to, and that was just kind of like, I mean, I fell in love with that. Also, I fell in love with being treated like shit and paid. Honestly, I wasn't. I was gonna be like, oh, you're being paid in chicken nuggets, but I was like a little kid. So it was a fucking what is a nightmare to these almost homeless adults doing open mic is a dream to a kid that doesn't have to worry about that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Dude,
So
that
did
might
you
be
just
the
like
hold up,
love?
that might be the best description of what it's like, honestly, because that's so awesome. These almost homeless adults stand up. It's so true because it's such a wide range of talent, right? Or people that do it. You
Yeah.
got people who have day jobs that are working, then you got people who are struggling artists, and then you got the guy who's like 50 cents away from being homeless, but he's at an open mic, right? Or he's waiting for this show to
Yeah.
get going, or living in his van. Like it's crazy. That's
So you
awesome,
look
dude.
forward to doing
That's
these?
hilarious. Say what?
Oh yeah. Dude,
Yeah.
I loved it. I mean, even still, like I'll get to like I'm making it's my only job right now, and it's awesome. It's like what I've always wanted is to, like go on the road and do weird little cities everywhere. And sometimes it's fucking hard, but every once in a while I have to like actively remind myself like I do this because I love it. Like I do this because I love the art of stand-up comedy, and I love stand-up
Right.
comedy because
Right.
sometimes like I'm sure you guys feel this where you're like blinded by ticket sales and where's my
We don't know what that's
paycheck in
like.
November.
Right. No,
We
Joey,
got a ticket sales problem. Yeah.
don't listen to Sal. Joey, I feel
After
you.
your comment,
I feel you 100%. I play this. There have been a number of times where I walk off stage. I've legitimately walked off stage and said to to some staff member or whoever, and I go, "Why am I doing this?" Right?
yeah,
Like,
right.
why am I doing this to
I mean,
myself? Right? Like,
Reggie
no
and I
one's making
both-
me do this.
We've both called each other after horrendous situations and I remember I had one up in Southern Oregon and he had one in Birmingham, Alabama.
Yeah,
And it was just
yeah,
like
Chase.
when you have shit like that, especially when you're like visioning it differently, and then you just you're right. Why am I doing this? What the fuck? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You walk off stage and you go, there's a point where you go, I gotta make better life choices, right? Like I need to change my life.
Right?
Right?
Did I fuck up? Did I make the wrong turn? Right.
But then you sit there, you lick your wounds, you kind of go, all right, man, forget these people. They don't know what's funny, whatever.
Right.
And then you get back on the horse because you, like you said, you love it, right? Because
Yeah.
all it takes is that next show where you do the exact same set and it kills.
Yeah. And that feeling's the best.
And you go,
Yeah.
all right, yeah, it wasn't me. It was them.
It was them. Somebody said to me, they were like, I spend my whole career trying to figure out what's the fluke. Is it the fluke when I kill, or is it the fluke when I don't? Like, which one is my homeostasis, and which is the one that's just like stars aligned?
That's
awesome.
I was Sal. You texted me after that show I just had in Naples. You're like, "How's that show in Naples?" I was like, crying in my rental car, being like, It was a fucking nightmare." I go to this show and like, I have an hour up there, which is like a dream, and fucking the best of the best. It's like it's the best feeling in the world. You get to be patient on stage. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And I go up there, and I'm like, they just had a hurricane. I make some joke about how their mansions are filled with sand or something. And then I was like, oh, that's not working. So I'm just going to pivot to material. So I was like, I'm coming from Los Angeles. And the first thing, I swear to God, like 2 minutes into my set, I'm coming from Los Angeles, whole crowd, boo! Another guy, fuck California. And then another guy, fucking libtard. Like, I was like, guys, I have an hour left. Can we just please,
let's ease into it, right?
Yeah, I have to be here whether you want me to be here or not. So
exactly. Wait, where was this
and
at?
I flew
This was
Naples, Florida.
Yeah, it's got this rep too because Sam Morrill's band hates it, and then I've heard other things, and then I was booked with Tim to do it, and it's been pushed back, so I've never done it. So then I saw Joey did it, and I just want to reach out, see how it went, and it didn't seem like it went good.
I didn't know any of the lore beforehand until after, and all of them were coming up. They're like, "Yeah, that's a Naples show. That's a Naples audience. Everybody has that." I was like, "Well, fucking warn me, you guys. Tell me beforehand." I'm gonna kill myself. Jesus
Did
Christ.
you just have the one show?
Yeah, I had two,
so you don't
and
get
then
to...
they
okay.
consolidated it because of ticket sales. But also
Wow.
fucking hurricane. That's what I blame.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
So
yeah,
then how did
damn
the
them.
hour go? What did you do, bro?
Just material, dude. Just
Yeah.
like kicked and screamed. I was like,
Yeah.
I did a little bit of crowd work, which is not my thing, and I just was like this guy in this like colorful, silky, like those rich guy shirts, like those Dan
Yeah.
Flashes
Yeah.
shirts, or they're like
Yeah.
silky and super colorful. And I was like, "What do you do?" And he goes, "I don't want to say." I was like, "Okay, what is your secret agent?" He was like, "I own an ad agency. I made my first billion." And I was like, "Okay,
All
not my
right.
fucking
Yeah.
crowd, not my crowd at all."
Yeah.
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 It's
I like
I'm
to
like
like, were
losing
you
money.
Who
surprised?
says that? I made my first
Yeah, you
billion.
fucking
Get outta
assholes.
here.
I know.
Like,
Yeah.
it's like, dude, you're a
See,
jerk
that's
and
the
you probably
problem
sell
with the...
drugs. So get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fly yourself to the fucking Kill Tony taping at Madison Square Garden. Why are you
Yeah.
here?
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah,
Scarface,
that's
get out of here.
yeah. It's funny they're surprised that entertainment's from Los Angeles for one thing, right? It's
I know.
Like, gee,
No,
that's,
and
that's
see,
aggressive.
if crowds weren't
Libtard.
assholes, you could ride it and it'll be fun. Like if you guys are cool, then the best is when a crowd is so cool that you'll riff off of your own thing and start adding tags
Yeah.
or something
Right.
because they're feeling it and you're like, all right, here's the, oh yeah. Well, if they're assholes and you're already working behind the 8 ball or whatever, it's just like, well, this show is gonna suck. Go fuck you. You're ruining it
And
for
you can
everyone.
and you can see their faces too is the worst. So you just see a bunch of like old white ladies go,
Ugh.
ugh. Like, okay, that's like that. Nothing takes my wind out of my sails more than disappointing history teacher.
That's
Uh,
hilarious. Fucking Joey, you're hilarious.
It's funny.
Bro.
I feel
That's
now
why you gotta
though,
find. I'm sorry, Sal, but you gotta find that one person out of the however many hundreds of people there are. You gotta find that one person in that chaos that's like this.
Yeah.
And you just because they
Lock
no matter
in.
you lock in. Like, you know what? This show is for you. Fuck everybody else.
Yeah.
You're it. You get all the jokes tonight, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And block out the rest, and then do your time. Walk off stage. Get your check. Get the hell out of Dodge.
Get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
I literally I was in Naples. I'm like on the southwest coast of Florida. And I got in my rental car and I drove to the beach. I parked my car and I walked out and I just laid in the ocean in the middle of the night. I was like,
Oh,
the shark
nice.
takes me. The shark takes me. I deserve it. Nothing's worse.
It does feel
Yeah.
bad. It also sucks if it's one show, so then you can't get the rebound or nothing.
Yeah,
So,
and then I'm just like
that's a shitty
flying
feeling.
home the next day. Dude, then I flew
Yeah.
home the next day, and there was like it was coming through the part of the hurricane. I was flying to Charleston, so my flight was like we had to deplane, and my flight was canceled. So I had to like it was like a 20-hour flight travel day.
my
It was supposed to
God.
be 6 hours.
It's brutal.
There's this guy. There's this guy behind me on my. I was like 18 hours into this. The guy behind me in my on my plane from Dallas home because I had to fly somewhere else. Puts his feet like under my seat and sticking out the bottom of my seat. And I like kicked it a little bit. And then I turned around and looked at him and was like, come on, man. And then he kept doing it through and I was like, had my AirPods in. And I turned around and I go, hey, I don't want to play fucking footsie all flight. All right, man? And then I was like, I'm sorry, dude. I just had a bad weekend.
Whoa, no, that's legit, bro. What did he say? Hold on. Yeah, what did he say?
He went like this.
Yeah. Good for you.
Wow.
Good
Okay,
for
see,
you.
now see, okay, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm so envious of you right now. So
Yeah.
envious. Because,
Really?
yeah, because at my size and my complexion, if I
Yeah.
turn around and I say, hey man, I don't want to play fucking footsie with you all night.
Yeah,
Right?
no, Reggie's going to jail.
Dude,
He's
they're
getting
gonna
on
hit
the
that
watch
button.
list.
They're gonna hit that button like blink, blink. And the lady's like, sir, can you come with me? I'm like, no, guy got his fucking feet. I told him I'm walking
He
out this
insulted me
motherfucker
with
like
his
that.
words.
No fly list.
Exactly. I'm
Yeah,
like,
dude.
he had his feet through the fucking front.
Yeah.
Oh, you know.
I do it
That's
and they're like,
awesome,
I
dude.
upset this little forest nymph, apparently.
Right. And they don't expect it from you. He thinks he could get away with that. Good.
Dude,
Fuck
that's-
him.
Yeah.
Man,
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Joey,
No,
I'm officially like living vicariously through you right now.
Yeah. Wouldn't you like to be a little white man, Reggie? It's the best.
Oh man,
you get away with so
I can
much. I
literally
always
see-
tell Reg that. I was like, if I had your size for one day, Reg, he's like, yeah, you'd be dead. You'd wasted.
You'd be dead. Dude, Sal used to be like, man, if I was your size and I had your I would just walk through this. This is 100% a Sal quote. I would just walk through the street and punch people in the face.
What?
Oh, like Sal, by the
I
time you get to the
remember.
fourth person, it's over, man. The police will be
Yeah.
shooting warning shots in your back, right? Freeze.
Yeah,
They'd be like,
exactly.
cat, 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 freeze, right? Like,
Yeah, you
Oh
wouldn't hear a
man.
taser pop, dude.
yeah, exactly. It'll be foot
It's
to the
so
back
funny.
and then a freeze after you lay down.
Yeah.
All right, let me
Uh,
ask about
okay.
I gotta ask about you blowing up and become like a Disney star. Because the
Well, hold on.
story we all heard was you went down to LA, you did a show at the Hollywood Improv, and then somebody saw you and signed you, and that's what happened.
Hold up. Before
Wait,
you answer that, Joey, before you answer that. Sorry, Sal. I gotta ask one more thing before we
Go
even go
ahead.
into that part. You said you consumed a lot of comedy growing up. Who was your favorite?
Oh,
Like,
that's a good question.
was there anybody that you felt like, not that you emulated,
Especially in the late 90s, early 2000s.
and also being at that age, right? And the
Yeah.
content you're
yeah.
consuming, because I'm sure now who you maybe like then may not be who you like now, or who you've kind of, as you
Yeah, and
grew up, it would change.
it has changed. There was a lot that I remember like stuck with me. Like there was a lot of those Comedy Central presents, those half-hour specials that that they would replay and I would see a lot. Kyle Dunnigan's half-hour special was one of my that shit played all the time and I just loved
Okay.
his like silly style. But I was also, it was the fledgling internet times and there was a
Okay.
lot of like they would put Live at Gotham on. So I would like become obsessed with these people that weren't very notable. Like not notable sounds rude, but like they weren't, they weren't names.
Yeah, we're
And a
well
lot of
known
them,
yet.
yeah, a lot of them became names. Like I was a big fan of Pete Holmes and I was a big fan of Nick Kroll and like TJ Miller. Like they were used to do College Humor Presents and College
Yeah.
Humor would like put on,
That's right.
10 5-minute spots. And I would like fall in love with these comics, and it honestly worked. A part of the whole reason I started comedy was because I would watch these comics. I watched funny people. I got like how to write. I got like what you should do. I just didn't know like how to start, where it happens, where do you find these like because in funny people it's like the Hollywood Improv 4-minute Tuesday mic or whatever.
Right.
And I found all because it was like the beginning of the internet or the beginning of like social media. So I found TJ Miller and Nick Kroll and Pete Holmes, all their personal Facebook pages.
Wow.
And I sent them like messages and I was like, hi, my name is Joey Bragg. I've never done this before, but I really am interested in doing it and I just don't know how to start. I think I would like put like an example of a joke I wrote or something and some of them responded, but Pete Holmes sent back like a in-depth like paragraph or essay about if you can't find stage time because you're young, you got to make your own stage time. You got to, which is like, me and
Produce
Sammy
the show.
Obey put up that show at Mountain Mike's Pizza like every Thursday.
That's right. That's right.
Because of the way they talked to us about it, or the way they talked to me about it, I got that sense of like, oh, it's a grind, it's a community, and it's a thing you do every single day to like hone this craft.
Right.
And Pete Holmes wrote me that back and he was like my favorite comic at the time. So for a really long time, I was like, he is the end all. Cause then he did Crashing a couple
Which
years
is
later,
great.
which was like, it's not the most realistic path for a comedian, but it is like awesome. Like we don't get many things like that. And, I look back at some of those Facebook messages I saw, and like Pete Holmes was really nice, Nick Kroll was really nice, and TJ Miller was like, "Get fucked!" Like he barely didn't give a shit at all.
Classic.
Yeah, and that seems that seems aligned with who he is. That seems about right.
Yeah,
right?
That's on brand. Yeah,
That's funny, man.
Yo, so Joey, I want to say this real quick, man, because what I'm hearing is, I hear a young person who's ambitious and who's curious, but also has the ability to not be afraid, right? Because a lot of kids may want to do something, but they don't take that initiative to write people and ask those questions. That
how did you
curiosity
have the courage?
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I'm gonna say before you even answer that, I think that you probably grew up in a house. I don't know your parents at all, but I would give them a lot of credit for instilling in you a lot of confidence early, right?
Yeah.
Like, and empowering you with a voice.
You the only kid?
No, I got an older brother.
Okay.
But he's lame. He does a normal job. He doesn't have the tenacity or the creativity that I do.
How much older?
Honestly, He's 2 years older. So
Okay.
he's
Close.
29, 20,
Okay,
30. Is he 30? Yeah, he's 30 now.
he's 30.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah,
Um,
man, I would say you grew up. It sounds like you grew up in a house where your parents empowered you with a voice and
oh
encouraged
yeah.
you to step out. Because you mentioned stand-up comedy, parkour, like wanting to do
Yeah.
that, the Rubik's
Yeah.
Cube. That's a level of confidence that I wish I had at that point, right? Like
Yeah.
more kids have, because it's just you looked at something and you didn't think that, oh, that's something that someone else does somewhere else and I can't do. You looked at something and thought, oh, I can do that. I want to
Right.
do that, right?
Yeah.
So,
Which is that thing I was talking about earlier. It's like that confident delusional thing that I wish I could tap back into, because it definitely did like get me started. And I do credit like my parents, my dad, I said a joke about being a Jehovah's Witness. My dad was raised in a Jehovah's Witness household with like seven
Oh,
other siblings, and they
okay.
are like purposely not supportive of things you want to do.
Oh,
You know, they don't let you
mhm.
play sports, they don't let you play
right.
do anything fun or cool.
Yeah, they don't
So
celebrate holidays, right? Like
yeah, no
yeah,
holidays. They don't, and the holidays things because they don't believe in celebrating anything other than like whoever the fuck Jehovah is.
dude.
And
That's great. Oh, go
no,
ahead.
if you're both Jehovah's Witnesses, I'm sorry,
No. My
but
my biological
That's
mother.
what the podcast is about.
Yeah.
Spitball in the
Hey,
world.
look, my biological mother, who gave me up for adoption, she was Jehovah's Witness.
huh?
I thank God in the heavens above that she gave me away, because if I would have
Yeah,
raised if I was
No,
raised in
that's
that
true. Come
house,
on, yeah.
yeah, like dude,
You don't
yeah.
it's
need that.
yeah, it's
So that's
rigid.
It's
kind
so
of funny though. That Jehovah Witness kind of birthed your father to be so opposite that he's like, "Go ahead, kid, do whatever you
exactly.
want.
Yeah,
Nightclubs,
Yeah.
13, I don't care, I'll take you." And
yeah, exactly.
I met his dad. His dad was always there at these things. It
Right.
was,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
dude. Let me hang out with Chris Shapakazi, and I was like 15 years old.
that
Go to
shithead.
yeah.
I will remember this story. I wanted to say, you remember Jim Smith at the San Jose Improv, and he
Yeah,
was an
yeah.
ex-Vietnam vet who supposedly killed a bunch of people, and he loved to show off he was tough. And now he's just a bowler. It seemed like some old man. But there was
Hold on, hold
some
on.
drama or something that happened at a Joey Bragg. Someone fucked with him at the show, and Jim threatened this dude like, "You ever fucking talk to that kid again, I'll kill you."
Dude, no, he punched him in the face, dude. This
Wow.
guy, well, I was in like the lobby of the San Jose Improv, and I was like standing at the merch table talking to somebody that worked there, and this dude like wanders off the street, comes in and is like talking to me, and I thought thought he was in the show, and he just turned out to be like a crazy homeless guy, and he goes,
Oh,
"Hey, can I try on your glasses?" And I was like, "Oh no!" And then he grabbed my glasses and took my glasses off my face, and I was like, "Oh!" And then before I fucking knew it. This is like burned into my brain, and it's probably exaggerated because you like it's one of those things
Nope.
you remember all the time.
Yeah.
But old Jim, who everybody was like, he's spec ops. He's like he's killed so many people. He's just doing this as like a retirement gig.
Yeah.
He uppercut like pushes this guy off me, uppercuts this guy, and while the guy's like dead, hanging in the air, like boom, boom, and then punches in the guy's boom, dead. And I like he killed him. He killed this guy. And this dude falls limp like a sack of shit, falls
Dude,
on the ground, and then that was the coolest thing I've ever seen, dude.
hold on. I got
That
one
was
for
the
you. I got one for you. All right.
that's
So
amazing.
I got one for you. Jim Smith, and I still talk to Jim Smith. So shout out to my man Jim Smith. I love
Wow.
Jim. He's in Vegas, retired. You know, he was a professional bowler.
Yeah.
And then they cut it down to just the
really.
top 100. And so then he kind of got excluded because he might have been like 110 or something, right?
Yeah, he was,
But
it was
That's always how
crazy.
it works out.
He
That's
was, he
always
was
how
all
people's stories.
yeah.
Yeah, I was going to be professional with that. I was right at the cutoff.
yeah,
So
exactly.
now I'm a
So
manager of a comedy club.
so Jim told me, I guess he grew up in Catskills, New York, right? As a kid. He was getting in trouble all the time. And basically a police officer caught him for the umpteenth time and was basically like, hey, look, kid, either you do something like join the military or you're going to die in these streets. Like you will get killed based on what you're doing. So Jim joined the military, Black Ops. He was one of the people that went in and proved death. So he would have to, like, if you couldn't find the dog tags, he was cutting off fingers to bring back like fingerprints and shit, right? Like it's next level. But okay, so just give you some insight. You already know
He's the
this.
finger guy.
So I'm at the improv one night, right? After the show. And this guy, like we're trying to shut down the whole thing. And this guy who was at the show had left and he came back and he was a little tipsy. And the staff is like, sorry, dude, you're out, it's closed. You can't come in. The guy's like, I gotta use the bathroom. He just pushes through the staff, right? Jim Smith is in the kitchen. He doesn't see this happen. As that guy's walking up the stairs to the left at the Improv, Jim comes walking back around to the lobby. And the whole staff is trying to get this guy out. And Jim's like, what's going on? I go, hey, man, this dude just came in and pushed his way in to go use the restroom. And Jim goes, oh, let me go take care of this.
This guy's fingerless. He comes out of the bathroom.
Dude, this is the best. This is the best part because you know how it is when you get to the stairs, they turn a corner so you can't see. So Jim walks up the stairs, you see him disappear around the corner, and he finds the guy, and all you hear is, he goes, hey, you can't be in here. And the guy's like, what? And then you hear, boom, 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 boom. And Jim has got this guy and he's banging him against the wall as he's taking him down the stairs. And he goes, you think we some punks around here? Wop, 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 wop. He's flinging this dude all over the place. I'm sitting there watching like, what in the entire fuck is going on? Jim gets into the door. He pushes him outside. He throws him out of the doors, right? The guy's like, he comes back. And this is the funniest part. He goes, touch me. I dare you touch me again. And Jim Smith goes just like this with his left hand. He goes to the guy's face and he goes, and the guy's looking at his finger and he goes, pink, and he touches his nose. And the guy goes, what? Like, because he said, touch me again. And he touched his nose and the guy's all confused and shit. And he's like, whatever, man. And he walks away. But the thing that no one else saw was that this was like watch one hand and don't see what the other hand is doing. Jim legitimately had his left hand in this guy's face, but his right hand was like a centimeter away from this dude's balls. So he was like this. As the guy was watching his hand, he had his hand on his crotch, like literally, like, I'm gonna touch you, and if you do anything, I will castrate you right here.
Grab and squeeze.
Dude, my buddy, his dad was a Vietnam vet, and he called it the STP. You squeeze, twist, and pull. And he's like, and someone like, fuck, his son was talking smack to him once, and he just grabbed him by the balls and ran him up against the kitchen counters. Like, what's that? Like, dude. They don't fuck around. They must have learned that shit.
I just gotta say this again, man. Shout out to my man Jim Smith. I know these stories. He don't want everybody to know these stories, but at this point, you're retired, dude. Like,
live. It's folklore now.
It's folklore.
Yeah, it's great. We heard about it, and we're all just like, "What happened?" Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I love the going around the corner and the cartoon like cloud of smoke and then like fists coming out.
All these symbols and exclamation points are flying out.
Exactly. And the other part, you think we some punks around here?
Yeah, that's what. Like, when did he become Boys in the Hood? Like, where the hell is Jim Smith?
Man, it was amazing. I saw that shit. I was like, Jim Smith, you're my friend for life.
I see him just like, he takes off his bowling glove. Oh, we're going to have some beer.
Oh, shit.
Oh, and hold on.
His Taco Bell sponsored jersey. Oh, this guy's getting down, dude.
And hold on. Let me go ahead and throw this out here, too. And I'll try to be discreet. But the ladies love Jim. I was present for it. Like, dude, it was crazy. We're at the Improv. I'm at the Improv one night, and Jim is talking to me. We got really close. Like, he's a friend. He's legitimately a friend. And I'm like, Jim, what's going on tonight, man? He goes, man, I got a couple things happening. Both my girlfriends showed up, and so I told one of them she had to go because the other girlfriend was here. And I go, wait. I go, you told one girlfriend she had to go because the other girlfriend was here? He's like, yeah, she knows the deal. She's not supposed to be. She got her night. She came on the night that she wasn't supposed to be here, so she had to go. So, and they damn near like walk past each other. Where it's like, okay, well, you got him tonight. I picked the wrong night. I'll see you. I'll see you next week. He's
Bye,
like,
Jim.
And dude, he walks his one of his girlfriends in. She sits in the showcase room, watches the show, and the other one, he gives her a hug, and she leaves all polite and nice. Like, okay, I'll see you later.
Wow.
Walks out. I was like,
whoa.
What? Who are you?
They're like bowler groupies.
No.
You know that grip he has in his fingers?
Yeah. Butter girls.
And they were young. Jim at that point was in his 50s, right? Late 50s, somewhere mid-late 50s. These chicks were all like 28 to 35, bro. Like on some daddy issue shit, but whatever. They were hot, and I was just like,
wow.
Good for him.
Right,
dude.
Wow. I was
good
like,
for you.
You tell me the guy that collected fingers in the war.
Yeah.
They knew. Like, he's got a stack of fingers at home.
Stack.
Exactly. So shout out to Jim, man.
All right, well, tell us real
Yeah,
quick
dude.
about becoming a Disney star because we have no idea what that's like, and that seems crazy.
And last night I
It's
watched the
also
first episode of Liz and Maddie.
Live, don't
Live.
fuck it
Live.
up,
I'm
dude.
sorry,
Okay.
Liv and Maddie.
These fans, you got
Have a good day,
1.5
guys.
million out there, dude.
Yeah.
Don't piss them off.
I watched the first episode last night, and I remember your very first line, right? Because they were like, "Yeah, we got the dip," and you go, "This dip?" I was like, "Joey." I was
He's
like,
back, dude.
He is back. So, and it's funny because your name is Joey Bragg, but on the show your name was Joey, right?
Yeah, Joey Rooney. I also got like that was it's funny to hear like what people were saying because there was like such a it was hard for me in the San Francisco Bay Area comedy community at certain points because there was like
Mhm.
and I still suffer from it today of like this I need the validation of my peers like I want the respect that I'm just part of it and not like part of it but with a caveat or with an asterisk or whatever.
Right.
And I went down to LA like 3 years into comedy. I went with Tommy T, who owns Tommy T's
Mm.
comedy club. Went down with me to like show me around. Took me to like I got met all the people at the Comedy Store and the Improv, and I was doing. His name was Mike Arugia. I don't know if you guys remember
Oh
him. He was
yeah,
like
I remember him.
Yeah.
He used
produced
to
shows.
teach traffic school up in the Bay. I took his class, and then when I came down to LA
Oh
the first
yeah.
time, he gave me a set at the Improv.
Oh, huh. Yeah, dude. He used to run that Bay Hilaria show. It was like
Yes.
the best of the Bay
In LA.
comics.
Right.
Yeah, and I had that show, so that's like that's what brought me down to LA, and then I got a few that night. I did that show at the Improv at 8, and then at 10, I was at the West Side Comedy Theater in Santa Monica, and there was an agent that came to see me from ICM, who is now a manager, who I just saw the other day, which is it's so weird. It's also like this industry is so strange because you meet somebody, you work with somebody like 10 years ago, and then 10 years later they're doing a completely different job, but it's like there's only like 200 working people here, so it's a very small world.
Right.
But and then this manager was there to see somebody else, and she saw me, and I had meetings with both of them the next day, and then I signed with both of them because I was like a bright-eyed, bushy-tailed kid. Like not that I made any mistakes. I definitely there was like it was Levity, which is like the biggest stand-up management. Still, I mean, they
Right.
own all the improv comedy clubs, and then ICM is one of the big five. And I did, started auditioning. They really wanted me to move down there, but my parents are public school teachers, so like that
Uh,
wasn't in the cards. So me and my dad would just drive down all the time for like, a couple shows or an audition or a callback. And one of the people that was really interested was Disney Channel because I would like go and do these auditions for them, and then they would have me do 5 minutes in the room of like just type five or whatever. And I
right.
did that a lot. And
Wow.
I
Wow.
originally did this pilot called Gulliver Quinn. That was like my first thing with them. And it was John Heater who played Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh yeah.
Gets taken out of seventh grade, and then like 30 years later, he's back from his. It's like his parents went to go study tortoises in Africa or whatever, and so he comes back to America as like a 35-year-old man. Is like, I want to re-enlist in the seventh grade and start over. That was like the plot of this show, and I was like, now I think about it, of course not. Of course that's not gonna go. Like
Well,
that's
isn't that Adam Sandler's?
Yeah, Billy Madison. It
yeah,
worked for
yeah, it's
him.
Billy Madison. It's
Right.
Billy Madison, but they're like, what about younger and a little bit more long term? He's
Yeah.
in seventh grade the whole year. He's gonna get it.
Not a
It's
week.
weird. Yeah, but I did that. That pilot didn't go. I did a few other I did like a Nickelodeon movie, and then Liv and Maddie came, and I met the producers for this audition. But it was on the heels when I did the first pilot. Disney Channel was like, they wanted to take control of my stand up because they were like, we don't want somebody on our show going on stage representing the company and then being, like, fuck
Yeah. Yeah.
Disney or whatever.
That makes sense.
And yeah, it does make sense. But at the time, I did the first pilot came back up to San Francisco. I didn't stop doing comedy, but I was always afraid. Like I was like, I couldn't do a TV spot if I wanted to. I couldn't, like, I felt like I was doing it in secret. And then when Liv and Maddie came around, um, they had already tried to put me in a few things, and I turned it down just because I wanted to do stand up. I wanted to do comedy, and this was taking that away.
Oh, wow.
And then Liv and Maddie came. I turned it down like 4 or 5 times. And along the 5th time, they finally were like, okay, we'll draw out your contract so that everything you do outside of Disney, you have full creative control over. And the only thing that we have creative control over is like my acting. So they had right of first refusal if I like get offered a, Boogie Nights 2 or whatever.
Wow.
And I was able to do that. And then I did that show, and it was fucking awesome. Like I've lived a very semi-charmed kind of life, but like, my first job when I was 16 years old, being on a Disney Channel show, my dad and my mom couldn't afford to live down there. So when I was 17, my dad went back home. So I was like living alone in my apartment in LA at 17 on a TV show. Like I was a prince. Like
where were you living? Were you living in Burbank where they put them all?
Yeah, I was.
Fred Savage and all them were. That's hilarious. I've postmated to that place. I'm like, here, you little lucky sons of bitches. Here's your tenders.
That's where Corey Haim died at the Oakwood in Burbank.
Really?
Wow. Oh,
yeah,
dude,
that's funny.
Dude, that's amazing, bro. Like the fact that, to have such strong conviction about comedy.
Yeah,
right?
the integrity at 16 too.
Yeah,
delusion.
And I was gonna say, because this is the thing. As much as I love comedy, right? As much as I love comedy, acting,
I don't know if we do that.
Yeah, if acting comes along and they go, well, you can't do stand up for a while you're on this show. I go, okay, right? Because I understand. And with the light acting, the little acting I've done, I still get checks from stuff that I did 10, 7, 8, 5. Right? I still get checks from that. With stand up, once I've done the show, that check is.
Once those chicken nuggets are digested, that's all we get.
Exactly. So it's almost like there's a naivety that you had as a kid because it's like
4 or 5 times to turn it down before. I mean, they must have really wanted them to. What did your dad? Was your parents? How did they feel? Like, take the fucking job, kid. They didn't care.
No,
they were supportive.
They were so It was about like That was also something that I'm so grateful for. It's like my dad came to the Sunday showcase every Sunday at the Punchline for like a year until they put me up. And it was never like, you go, I'm a fucking little, what are those jazz dancer girls, like dance moms? Like their moms are like going to the coach and saying, you got to give them the starting job. You got to do this. And
right.
Of course I didn't want my dad to go up to Molly and say like, hey, it's a school night. Can we make sure he goes up? But like, of course not. But he never did anything like that. He very much so took a back seat and was like, I'm supporting something that honestly, like I was good at it. And I was like getting opportunities. And I think that like he saw that and knew that it was something that I like really enjoyed doing and something that I was like garnering this little sense of community. And he just wanted to just support that because he didn't get it. And I think about it all the time because there were jokes like it would break. I remember the first time I went up on the Sunday showcase after, and Molly said it to me a couple of months ago where she was like, and I passed you early, right? And I was like, yeah, you did pass me early at like 8 months. And everybody was usually like a year. Yeah. And it's that same sense of like, I want to belong and I don't want to feel like I'm getting chances because I'm some kind of special.
Because you're young, right?
Yeah. And like I did that and I finally go up and it was fine. It was great. And then I like left and I stood out. I went out onto the stairs of the Punchline to like revel in it with my friends and like have these people and be like, I not like I wanted the Rudy moment, but I wanted like, that was cool. You finally did it. Like it was so, when anybody got put up at the Punchline for the first time, all their friends were so excited for them. It was a very like cathartic moment. And I walked out onto the top of the stairs and I saw like 3 little groups. And the first thing I overheard was like, and he's not even fucking, he's doing this because his dad is here and his dad writes all his jokes. And I heard, and I like, it was like such a, those times in a movie where the character walks out and like the camera goes around them.
Oh my God.
Like, that's what it felt like. Cause I was like, all I wanted was like them to think that I was just a part of it.
You were like 13?
I think I got past when I was like 15.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Who said it? Can you tell us who said it?
I can't, dude, because you guys
Oh,
actually
dude, I
know
would have
them.
to-
Look, I'm gonna tell you
Oh,
right
I
now.
might know
Whoever said
that.
it,
They still
Definitely,
doing
you're gonna
stand
know
up?
them.
Are they still doing stand
I
up?
don't
no,
think so.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
that's
say,
okay. There you
I'm
go.
gonna tell you right now, that level of hating, whoever said it, they never got past. They don't work the club. They never made it in, and they're
Yeah.
still at an open mic right now talking about, well, you know what? I would have made it if Joey hadn't have been like
I'll
15,
say,
right? Like fuck them.
Yeah.
Dude,
I
I'm
did hear
sorry, that
that
was your
too, though.
experience, man.
I do remember someone saying his dad writes his jokes. I do remember hearing that shit.
Yeah.
And
It was so frustrating.
yeah. I
Hey, well,
mean,
hey, look, I want to say this right now. Props to your pops, man. Right? Because
Yeah,
what
for
what he
sure.
instilled in you was it's integrity, right? It's like you earn this just like everyone else. I will support you. I'm here for you, and I'm not gonna necessarily go in and advocate for you. It's like we're gonna follow the same path that everyone else does, right? So you have us so that way when it does happen, there's a lot more respect, right? For the people
Yeah.
who understand what it is, right? Like what do they say? It's like if you graduate from college, you can go into the Air Force as an officer. But if you come in and you go through boot camp and you make your way up, those guys get a lot more respect than a guy who just came in because they didn't go through the trenches. Like they didn't have to go through all
Yeah.
of it, right? So
Yeah.
props to your pops, man, and to you for like keeping boots on the ground, getting muddy and dirty, and sitting and waiting
Oh,
in the
yeah.
back like everyone else, man.
I mean, it's
that's
yeah,
great.
bro. It's very respectable too.
Yeah, it's very
Also, I
respectable.
will say there was a lot of like there's a lot of these people I still see, and like you guys, I've never ever felt that about you guys. There's a lot of those
Yeah.
people that like I always felt very respected and friendly, and you know
I was, yeah,
we
I felt like we all
saw
were
each
like,
other all the
oh,
time.
you know, guys, it's
Yeah,
Joey. We're all good, you know, they all around
Exactly.
you. Like I remember Sammy was really cool with you, and I
yeah,
love
yeah,
Sammy, and
Yeah.
yeah, we've had him on here, and that like you, yeah, that's how
Yeah.
I felt. So, but you're right. There's so many haters
There's
always
so
in the
many
game, but they get that your first time, like that's really
Yeah, that
you've
sucks.
got
uh,
you've gone through
But
it, and
you
you
pushed
kept
through.
at it, yeah,
Yeah, you
which is
pushed
yeah.
through.
crazy.
So
And I
and
will say there was times like that same night, you know, there's like the Jesse Fernandezes or the Ben Kalinas, the people that I like
Hmm.
yeah,
love as artists, and
right,
they loved me as a person and a comic, and that was
right.
like there were people there that were making it really special.
Oh,
Good,
good.
good,
Yeah.
Yeah.
man.
Um, wow, man, that's a pretty awesome story though. The way you
Yeah,
got on
that
and
is
it's
impressive.
yeah,
Let me
that's
see if you,
impressive.
what
Props to
else
your
I got.
pops.
Anything else to ask this
Yo, if
dude?
I ever see your pops, I gotta shake his hand and be like, yo, man, you did it right. Right? You
It's
did
funny.
good.
I love
And your
that because
mom.
there are so many people. But also, when I told my mom I wanted to do comedy for the first time, when I was like 12 or 13 or whatever, my mom goes, "No, honey, stand-up comedians kill themselves," and that was like the end.
She's not wrong.
So,
She's not lying. I hear
yeah,
no
they do.
lies, but
Me
then
too.
regular people do it too. So right?
That's true.
Yeah.
But there is like there's a lot of what's really cool is I fucking love the like I love the community that the Bay Area comics have. Like
Yeah.
even being down
Yeah.
here and seeing a lot of them and like they come down or they move down here eventually or they you know or I go up and I'm doing something at the punchline. Like there is such a sense of community that I fucking love so much. And
Yeah,
so many of them will come up to me and they'll be like, "How's your dad?" And like that's really special.
buddy.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
not
Yeah.
nobody fucking knows what Jesse Fernandez's dad looks like, but like
yeah.
people know my dad. I'm like that's
Dude.
really cool. Like
Yeah, man.
I do really appreciate that.
I do too. You know, I'm glad you mentioned that because that's one of my for the amount of time that I did I'm out of the game right now. I'm on sabbatical. I'm still debating on coming back.
Nice.
But the thing that I love about the Bay Area comedy scene was the camaraderie and the friendship that we built.
Yeah.
That wasn't just built around. That's why that wasn't just built around stand up, but like people, right?
Yeah.
Like we all kind of became friends outside of just stand up.
Yeah.
Which is what separates us, I think, from LA and New York in a sense where a lot of comics are about the business. Like, how can you help me? And if you can't help me, then I got to go to the next person that can help me.
Right.
Because I'm trying to
Yeah.
do a thing. Where in the Bay, we really cultivate like a true bond and a connection of a friendship
About the art too.
about the
Oh
art,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
And there's
Yeah.
like places like Brainwash. Everybody loved going to Brainwash.
Yeah.
Tony Sparks was such a fun person to
Yeah.
host a show. And if you ask somebody if they had a good set there, they'd be like, "No." But it's not really about that necessarily. It's about like the fact that we're doing comedy in a laundromat and the fact that
Exactly.
we're all like that was so special. And
We
that
all
doesn't
suffered
happen in
together.
LA.
And we all suffer
Yeah,
together and we all
exactly.
hang out with each other. And then we're all sitting there talking and doing whatever. And then you hear Tony say something like, and this is their first time. So
Mhm.
give them and everyone
Show
comes in
them a
like,
lot
all
of
right,
love.
let's watch him eat
Yeah.
it too. Right. Let's see.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it was
Oh.
no, that was really cool.
All right.
I
So
mean, I
Joey,
saw Sean Keen one time at a Trader Joe's down here because LA, you're just also separating people into their own thing. And I saw him in
Yeah.
the fucking produce aisle, and I turned around, I was like, oh, I just hugged him. I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, yeah,
right.
right. I did the same
Yeah.
thing. I saw Emily Heller recently
Oh,
at the
awesome.
strike, and I was just like, it was so special. It's like and it's my high school years pretty much. Like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
It's
same
true.
that I have. There were so many things I didn't do in high school because I was like, oh, I got shows tonight or whatever.
Right.
It's the Tommy T's Monday open mic, so I can't do whatever you want me to do. And there are people that I see now that like they hold such a special place in my like nostalgia. Like Emily
Yeah.
Heller, I saw Janine Brito.
Oh,
I
yeah.
just, yeah, I saw Chris Garcia the other night at a show, and we were just like chatting, haven't seen each other in like years, and it's so funny to have that conversation where I'm like, there were times when I thought you hated my guts when I was,
Oh,
because I'm like, I'm a pubescent kid, like everything
Yeah.
means this is my whole world,
right.
and he was
Right.
like, no,
Yeah.
I didn't. Like they were all just doing their own thing, and he was, I don't know, it's crazy. I love the camaraderie. I love seeing everybody. I love the people that are still doing it.
Yeah. Well, I also think too, I mean, we could roll off a list of names, but that time in the Bay Area, there were so many talented people that have gone
Oh
on.
yeah.
I mean, to be writers and to be actors and be comedians and hosts of shows and have their own shows. Like,
And super famous with her special coming out on Tuesday, Ali Wong.
okay, there you
Yeah.
go, right? Like, I mean, we were surrounded by just a wealth of talent, right?
Yeah.
A
And then you'd
depth
have
of
guys like
talent.
Chappelle come in to stop in to do sets, which was
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh, so cool.
dare I call it like a golden era of comedy because we got to see Sal and I got to see you at 13, right? Do a thing.
Yeah.
And then see it happen for you in different ways. We got to see Ali Wong come up through the trenches. We got to see Moshe. We got to see W. Kamau. We got to see Kevin Avery, Emily Heller, right? Like
Yeah.
Hassan Minhaj. Like it's just, yeah. It's
really cool.
Yeah.
yeah. We were
Well,
really
speaking
fortunate to have a great
of
time.
Joey come up, I don't know if your team would have a problem with this, but I have this video that one of Joey's first acting gigs ever that he did a sketch with us in Four in the Back. I don't know if you remember this. Do you remember this?
I did a sketch with you guys.
With
Do I
Grant
not?
Lyon. All right, hold on. Here we go. I
here
gotta
we go.
play a little from the beginning because I gotta set it up because otherwise people will be like, it was on Funny or Die. It was our most popular video on Funny or Die. Let me
Damn Muslims. Oh boy.
Oh my God! See, that's why I have to set it up so
boy.
you know what it is. All right, so let me share the sound and everything. But Joey, and I'll tell you, his acting is great compared to mine. I look like shit. So
Yeah.
here we go.
This
This
is like
happened
my
to
first
me.
ever acting gig.
Yeah, this happened to me in Ohio, so I wrote a sketch about it.
All right.
Hey, would you look at that? That BP station is deserted. They sure screwed up, huh?
Yeah, I reckon. You know what
Sammy
I heard?
I
heard a Muslim landed on that oil rig and blew it up.
What?
A Muslim landed on that oil rig and just blew it up.
How?
Parachute.
Parachute?
Yeah, that thing they spin on their head, it's a parachute.
So you think a Muslim parachuted onto the BP oil rig, creating the greatest environmental disaster in history?
Damn straight. I bet they learned how to suicide bomb from the Japs.
Sir, you can't blame the Muslims for everything.
You know why the economy's so bad?
Why?
Goddamn Muslims messing up all the good jobs.
Where does that happen?
Congratulations, you're going to be our new mechanical engineer.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited. I don't like him, Hank. I don't like him.
I'm sorry, we're going to have to
Conrad?
let you go. The Muslim has spoken.
Okay, here comes
Bad at
Joey.
math, you know why? Goddamn Muslims and their Arab numerals.
Arab?
Oh, yeah.
Arabic numerals? Everyone uses those.
All right, boys and girls. VI plus III equals.
What are those? How are you supposed to add those? Is that gonna be on the test?
There he is.
It ain't bad.
There it is.
Hell yeah, dude.
Nice.
It's so funny, dude. I do totally remember that, but I would not have. That was like unlocking a whole memory that I must have suppressed for some reason.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Was that your first acting job?
I think so, dude.
Wow.
Honestly, I think so.
Dude, you
How
gotta add
about
that to
that?
your reel, bro. You gotta
Yeah.
add that to
I
your
got
reel.
to.
He's good
I
too.
really, I know. I really pulled from somewhere.
He was about to cry.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know what? I gotta real quick. I gotta give props to Sal real quick because Sal has created a number of these moments in a multitude of ways where he's captured like different time periods of our lives throughout a comedy journey with these sketches, right? Like these moments. Because how would you say you're in that? That was 2010, right?
Yeah, it was like 2010, 2011.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was young. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was awesome. I
That's
gotta
so
admit
funny.
though, Sal, I was a little upset. I was happy that you called him out on the Arab numbers, but you didn't say nothing about the word Japs. I was like, oh, it's okay to say Japs.
Well, I mean, that's Sammy. He just brought in the character. I didn't write that line.
Okay.
And then we closed it with it was right after LeBron made the announcement. So then he's like, LeBron loses a superstar because of them. And then we have LeBron, and then he leans over and talks, and he switches. But
funny.
Yeah, that was a moment in time.
You should threaten Grant Lyon with that video every once in a while. Be like, I will release this.
I'll ruin your whole board game community right now.
Exactly. So sorry, you're explaining these indie board games to children. I will fucking ruin you. Do you know what I have?
I got the dirt, baby.
Awesome.
I showed one with Reggie a couple weeks ago where he was shaving his back. That was last time. Remember that? Yeah.
That was funny.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Right. So
anything else? Funny. I want to ask you, how was it working with David Spade? I saw that he was your father. That's crazy.
Yeah. Honestly, fantastic. He's like, I adore him as he's the coolest. I keep wanting him to take me out on tour, and it's not. I don't think it's gonna happen. He like takes all my really funny friends on tour, and they're like on his private jet. I'm like, hey man, Catherine Blanford got a little too big for you, so if you need somebody else, he's like, haha.
Well, you got the texting part down at least.
All right.
Yeah, I got that. I'm texting his assistant.
Yeah. Wow. Well, they keep trying. That's cool though. All right. So, are you happy about the Commanders' new quarterback? I'm liking Jaden Daniels. He's on my fantasy team. He's good.
Oh, good for you, dude. Yeah, he's getting a lot of fantasy points. I know he's accurate. Fucking thrown more touchdown drives than he has incompletions. That's an insane stat.
It's insane. My only worry is he's like Joey size. So that's something you got to worry about on an NFL field. Because RG3, you guys had RG3. That must have sucked.
Yeah. Don't even bring it up, dude.
And the Browns had him too. We had him too.
Yeah, you had post-broken RG3.
Oh, that's crazy.
Dude, I will that's one of those memories. I watched that game during a live taping of Liv and Maddie in my dressing room. And
wow, what a fan. Wow.
Filming some other scenes, and I was in my dressing room was like, I had an RG3 fat head. Do you remember those? Life-size stickers?
Yeah.
In my dressing room, I had an RG3 fat head, and I was with the guy that played my dad in the show, and I was screaming at the TV, take him off! Take him off! Take him off the fucking field. And then he got broken, and I was like, of course! And they're like, Joey, we're ready for you. And then I had to be like, my pants don't fit, or whatever fucking Disney Channel thing I was doing. It's not double competition.
Dude, hold on. I remember that game so vividly because I remember when he had this huge leg brace on, so much that his leg was dragging.
They should put him back.
And he was like grabbing it and wincing.
Yeah. Exactly. I was like, the head coach at the time was Mike Shanahan, right?
Mike Shanahan, yeah.
I was like, Mike, what are you doing? And then, like you just said, boom, he's broken. It's a wrap. And he never recovered.
Oh, yeah. You saw it, dude. And Joe Buck calling it, like, everybody just knew as soon as it happened. Like, that is a career-ending injury.
Oh, absolutely. It was like, what is this, 1978? Right?
Yeah.
Like,
right?
Like, we're like, we played through broken ribs and broken fingers, and my eye popped out of my head one time, and I pushed it back in. I went out and played. It's like, no, man, no. Like,
that story of is it that like Raiders lineman in the like 90s that broke his finger and his finger was off, and at halftime he was like, cut it off, and they cut it off and he went and finished the game.
Oh my
Dude,
God.
just
And then
wait.
when the
wait.
adrenaline came off, when the adrenaline wore off, he sat there and was like, "Why did you guys let me do this?"
Yeah.
He's sitting there like why?
Yeah,
And
if
we
this
didn't
ain't the
Never
even
be
Super
able to
Bowl.
count to 10 again.
I hope they won because I hate for you to cut your finger off and lose the game, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, what's the point of winning the ring if you don't have a finger to put it on?
like,
Yeah, that poor guy was like, cut it off. And they called Jim Smith at the San Jose Improv. They were like, we need you, buddy. We need your finger cutting expertise.
Oh, man,
That's funny.
awesome.
We
All
also
right.
have another thing in common,
Okay.
Joey and I. We both support professional teams, and they made them change their names because of their racist.
Oh, Cleveland.
mascots.
Yeah, the Guardians.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm watching the game right now. We're up 5-0.
Nice.
But I mean, then I got family are all like, they're always the Indians. I'm like, come on, dude, fucking Chief Wahoo's racist as hell. Look at him, man. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah,
It's
same.
stupid. And then Chris
I
Rock
went-
used to have that great bit about the Redskins. That's a racial slur.
The NFL 100s year was like 8 years ago or so, and they did that 100 greatest players of all time, and they needed to find celebrities that were supporters of each team, and I guess I was the only Redskins fan they could find, and I went on this, and I think it was Clinton Portis I was trying to say was one of the best players of all time, or Darryl Green or something, and I was on there, and I was like, before I do this, I want to make a statement. I was like 20 years old. I was like, I believe in changing the name, for I think it's degrading to a people or whatever. And they obviously cut all of that out. And the only part they used, literally, it was just funny because he plays for our team now. It was Marcus Mariota's rookie season. And they used this clip of me where I was like, Marcus Mariota, I think he's a new kind of quarterback. I really think he's going to change the game. I think he might be the best we've seen in a really long time. And it was like, They aired that right before his downfall. I was getting people sending me that, being like, you don't know shit about football because he sucks.
It's like they cut it. There was more to it.
Yeah, there was so much
man,
more.
good for you for speaking up.
That's
even though,
crazy, man.
know-
You got some, Joe, you got some good integrity, man. 20 years old.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I
Wow.
appreciate
For
you.
you.
man.
Lost it all. I'd sell my. I go on Gutfeld right now to sell tickets.
No, that's-
Hey man, I've like followed. I've done shows, and then the show before, like, what's that? Like, oh, so this guy who's on Gut. I'm like, oh, and then, but these people, man, they get into that crowd, and that's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they can't get out. Then they're
Right.
stuck in there, man.
Well,
Yeah,
Joey,
so many are doing it.
well, let me ask you this, because comedy now it's a completely different beast, right?
Yeah.
With all the the memes and the shorts and the little videos and the whole thing. Have you thought about doing any of that stuff, or is it kind of one of those things where it's like you have to be conscious of your image to some degree?
My image. Yeah. For the long time when like the show was going and I was doing shows, I took a sabbatical because stand up and balancing a real job and stand up was something I'd never done before. And
Right.
I just felt like my heart wasn't in it. I also took a lot of time where my pride with my stand up got in the way of what I wasn't posting clips. I wasn't posting videos because real life, I was insecure about the jokes and insecure, and I didn't want to put something out there and just get comments. I didn't want to do that. But it was like, I was telling myself this and saying it out loud that it's a pride thing. Stand up exists in the moment on the stage. It's not for, clips on Instagram or whatever.
Right.
And that's to my own fault. I was fighting the stand-up world changing the way that it has.
Right.
And I was naive to think that I was like, it's going to stay the way it was, and it's not, and it's different.
Right.
And I wish I would have, laid the groundwork, because the people that have been posting clips for years have, they're doing really well. They have endless archives for people to look back on. And I don't have that. And I am just recently deciding to do that. So it's it's necessary.
Okay. So
I got.
Oh, go ahead. Phil, I'm sorry. Finish.
Oh, just that I have all these people that know who I am, or I have a lot of Instagram and TikTok followers.
1.5 million motherfuckers.
1.5 million, baby. I can take over Costa Rica.
Yay.
It's funny.
But I those people, don't know me from stand up for the most part.
Right.
They know me from the acting, and luckily I was able to write Liv and Maddie, and I did stand up on Liv and Maddie, and so there was like the bridge was built, but it is difficult, and it's a constant grind, and it's a constant got to put stuff out there because people get bored, and like the constant joke in every green room is that like, oh, we're competing with the Hawk Tuah girl, and like that's true to a certain extent, but we're also competing with like the trailer trash meth head lady that thought she was sending a private message to her boyfriend and accidentally posted it on TikTok, and now that has billions of views. Like we're competing with that too, so it's a different
pygmy hippo moondang.
Dude, you're on it.
That cute little fuck.
That cute little hippo. Grow up already, you friggin' hippo.
So Joey, I'm a little older than you, right? So I'm gonna share this with you. Whatever decisions you made at whatever point in your life, you made those decisions based on who you were at that time, right? So no regrets about not doing a thing because you were not ready to do that thing then, right? So it's like having the experience and living through it. That's what empowers you now to be in a place where you're like, okay, I'm open to it now. Because if you had tried to do it then, it wouldn't have worked because you weren't ready for it.
Yeah, it would have been disingenuous.
It would have been disingenuous. So take that as a learning experience, right? Like it's like, okay, because everything isn't for everybody at the same time. I have friends right now, like one of my friends, a good friend of mine who's a national tour headliner, was resistant against doing the clips and everything as the industry was changing. And then he finally got to a point where he was like, you know what? This is what I got to do. And he did it, and he got a team of people. So he controls the content. They edit, they put the closed captioning up, right? And he gets the best moments of it. And now he's to a point where his numbers are through the roof. His money has grown exponentially. He's made more money than he's ever made before. He's dropped his management and his agent because he's like, he looks at all of it himself.
Yeah.
And he has his team that he's created that controls his content for him, right? That he creates with him. So point being is that, hey man, it ain't never too late. And if you're at this point now, Sal loves this part, right? And if this is where you are now, where you're ready to do it, the time is now, right? Because you can't do what you don't know and what you're not ready for. So that's it, man. Like, and that confidence. And the last part is this. So
true though. Very wise.
True. The blind confidence that you had as a kid, that's because you didn't know, right? And the more you know, the better decisions you make. But sometimes those with more knowledge comes fear, right? The fear of the unknown and fear of disappointment, the fear of like even looking for approval. When you're a kid, you just love the thing and you wanted to do it, right? So you're still the same person. That confidence still lives in you. It still exists, but there's all these little blocks that may be in front of it that's holding it back. Move the blocks, bro. Process each one of them and let them go. You've done exponentially more than most people, right? And you did it because you deserved it. You got it because you deserved it and you earned it. So it's in you, dude, 100%.
Yeah, you've had a lot of the camaraderie and respect as a comic from us when you were young.
I love you guys. I honestly that's healing childhood trauma. So I need.
No, you really
appreciate it.
No, we've been our old ass has been around, and we've seen people not deal, people who aren't strong. We've seen the fakes, the phonies, those who crash, and like from the beginning, bro. Like I'm like, what the fuck's up with this kid? Where you get all this style? And then we learned. Like just now, it's amazing. You studied. You came in. Hardworking, ready, and you knew the game more than most adults at that time.
Yeah. And
that's so nice, guys.
And look, man, I keep saying it, but props to your parents, man, because they really laid a firm foundation for you to stand on, to be confident, to have a voice, and to be curious, and to be ambitious and driven. I'm telling you right now, bro, the fact that you sat down at your computer and looked for addresses and wrote the people and asked them how to do it, that's huge. Yeah. That's huge. That separates you from that's 1 in a million, dog.
That's 1 in 1.5 million.
Yeah. That's you. So yeah, man, whatever it is, you process it, think about it, let it go, and then keep moving forward. One foot in front of the other. Looking back at the past causes depression. Looking at the future causes anxiety. The only time that exists is right now. Be in this moment, live it, do it, own it. You got it.
Fucking hell yeah, dude. Clip that
still.
shit, dude. I didn't
Yeah.
need that. That's Hope Core, baby. God, that's
Hope Core. I like that. That's awesome.
What do you got coming up with stand-up? Do you have a goal? You trying to get a special? What are you thinking?
I don't know. I would love to have a special. I do want to. I wrote all this like Disney Channel material that was just like this is a unique experience, and I want to burn that in a special sometime soon. But I'm just touring. I'm getting in the habit of doing hours, which is fucking awesome. It's so
That's dope.
Like,
it is.
Yeah,
I like the way you described it earlier. It's like you have the patience to be.
Yeah,
you can take the time to cultivate. It's really about sustaining your personality, being who you are, right, and sharing your stories, and being able to ride the wave, right? Like it's never like this. It's always these ebbs and these peaks and valleys.
It's like an experience they have together. I mean, that's what you're right though. Stand-up is so different than what they see in the reels. And like, it's experience, that moment, that night.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, the longest stand-up reel is a minute and a half. And when you're up there for an hour, like it's the patience is the thing that I think separates like a headliner from a really good comedian.
Yeah.
It's like you can be a really good comedian. You can have a half hour of like jam-packed, really fucking tight, well-written, great stuff. But like a headliner it's that energy. Like that when they're watching you for an hour, they're gonna hit a wall. They're gonna get a place where they're laughing, and then the check comes, or they just finished their dessert and their tummy hurts. Like they are experiencing an hour of a life, and you have to be there with them and find their energy. I think that stand up is a lot writing and a lot of stage presence, but also it's like absorbing the energy you're receiving and figuring out a way to give it back to them in a way that they are going to enjoy their night and like make it worth it.
Joey, you got it, bro.
Hard to do.
Yeah, Joey.
I got it, guys.
You're the man.
I asked Dave Chappelle one time. I go, Dave, you've been on stage. You on stage for like 5 hours, 6 hours. I go, how do you be funny for 6 hours? And this is the best response ever. He goes, Reg, I ain't got to be funny for 6 hours. I just got to be interesting. And I was like, being interesting allows you to have those moments where it's not necessarily set up punch or jokes and whatever else, but it's just a cool story that not necessarily is like hilarious, but fucking interesting. You know what I mean?
It's also like how he writes. I feel like he's writing, and while he's up there trying to find that. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So and you've
had privilege,
you've lived a very interesting life and had been in some really cool rooms. So be interesting, like be funny.
Yeah, you'll have a lot of stories, I bet. So that's gonna be cool. I mean, we've got some good ones here. We barely, So
and you got the Disney Channel crowd. Like,
that's
those
gonna
people,
be good.
I've met people who like just mentioning to someone that you were gonna be on the show. They were like, "Wait, hold up!" And like, I love that show. My kids love that show.
That's hilarious,
right?
Dude.
So just stories about whatever, without you're not throwing anybody under the bus and exposing anything, right?
No, but the Disney groupies and stuff, we got to hear the goods.
Of course, you got to feed the Disney adults.
So,
all right,
Joey.
Reg, I love to do. Joey, we love you, man. This has been awesome.
I love you guys too. This has been great.
Thanks for doing it.
It's been too long.
It's been too long, man. So before you go, do you want to like drop all your handles where everyone can find you? Like,
I think they'll find it. We'll tag at Joey Bragg, right?
They'll find you.
Just find
Google, right? Follow the masses.
Follow them. When everyone's going, follow them.
That's where I'm at the end of that.
Exactly.
Well, I'm just at Joey Bragg on everything, pretty much.
Yeah.
Except for TikToks with Joey Bragg 7.
I'm all heart, man, but it's been an honor and a pleasure to have you this morning, man. It's so great. Congratulations to you.
Yeah.
Continue.
I mean, I don't see you guys enough, so this was a fucking great way to start my weekend.
Yes, sir.
Great,
I'm
man.
with you 100.
Cool. All right, well, thank you, Joey.
Thanks,
love
Joey.
you, appreciate you, and we'll see you on the scene, buddy.
Yeah, good luck to your team, man. I hope they do
well. We're gonna kick your ass, Sal.
I at least buy 2 touchdowns.
Maybe Deshaun need a massage afterwards.
Yeah, fucking should have kept Baker, mother. All right.
All right, guys.
All right,
love you both. Man. Thanks so much. Bye, guys.
Thank you. There it is, Reg. There it is.
There it is. Joey
that was
Bragg.
great, man. That kid got integrity. Turn that shit down so he can keep doing stand-up.
Dude, he's smart, man. He's smart. And I think between you and I, like honestly.
And everyone else listening.
yeah, and everyone else who's listening, I'm sorry. Um, listening to his experience and the openness that he had to do the willingness to do things. I think that's a testament. I said it throughout the podcast, but I think that's a testament to how his parents would raise him, as far as giving him a firm foundation to stand on that allowed him to be confident, right, and to be open to other ideas and to believe that he could do things and to be curious about it.
Oh, you just lost.
And to be okay with reaching out. Like,
okay, there you are.
I would say to any parents who's listening, I would say to any parent who's listening to this or watching this, I think Joey Bragg is a great example of what can happen if you empower your children to be confident and to have a voice and to take chances and be fearless, right? He's talking about the blind confidence that he had. It wasn't blind confidence. It was just a lack of fearlessness. He wasn't worried about being disappointed. He wasn't worried about letting someone down. He wasn't worried about being rejected. He sat down and wrote people and asked them, how do you do this? I've never done this before. I'm curious. He watched someone do a Rubik's Cube and he's like, I want to do that. It's like, that's what we need to instill in our young people, is this curiosity and this exploration of self and things, right? Take chance. That's how you find out who you are, is trial and error, right? Explore, you figure it out.
I mean, he's avoided all the pitfalls. It's like amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you know, that's tough. I mean, his mom is right. Stand-up is one of the darkest arts. You get in there, there's just a lot of depression. There is a lot of death. I got so many pictures with dead people. And then he, young, gets into that, then blows up into acting, comes down to here, living by his own, ain't fucking a heroin addict, no nothing. I mean, good Lord.
Dude, firm foundation, bro. Solid foundation. Shout out to Joey Bragg for coming through today.
Kid.
We
awesome
appreciate
guy.
you, man. Keep going. Rooting from afar. I'm like, let's get it. Let's get it. So,
all right, well, that's it, Reg. I guess next week I'd like to do a little poor day and maybe that's about it.
Talk about your EV experience.
Oh, we're not there yet. Hopefully the Guardians. My team's playing Meadows' team right now.
Okay.
And there's a movie I want to talk about. You should watch. Watch it this week on Netflix. Will and Harper.
Oh, I saw that.
You already saw it?
With Will Ferrell and his friend Harper, who's a writer for SNL and who's transitioning. Yeah, I saw that. It was interesting. It was really good, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good.
All right. Well, we'll talk more next week about it. And wrap us up, Reg. Close us out,
all right,
my friend.
Well, there you have it, folks. Shout out to our guest today, Joey Bragg. Thank you so much for coming through and gracing us with your presence and your hilarity and your stories, man. It was wonderful. And to everyone who's listening, hope you enjoyed today's episode. We will keep doing this. We love doing it. So if you enjoyed it, please, the best thing you can do for us is like, share, and subscribe. I always say it, leave a comment. And if you have any ideas or suggestions or things you want us to talk about, feel free to do that. Plus, if you have something that you don't want that's not necessarily good, you can post that too. Sal loves those moments tremendously. So with that being said, that's Sal Kalani. I'm Reggie Steele, and this is Spitballin. Peace.